The winds of change are blowing at gale force through this 27-year-old democracy. The citizens are revolting against everything. Sadly, some against each other. But I guess these are the conditions that will prevail until we start to get down to the real cause of our frustrations and find a lasting solution to the problems that we have allowed to persist and to fester. Revolution, a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. Yes! Thank you for watching this episode of It's a Wrap. The issue of land is a contentious one. Everybody needs a place to call home, and Namibians are venting their frustrations with government's slow-paced reaction to the demand whilst they languish in cushy mansions maintained at the taxpayer's expense. Just look at the deplorable conditions Namibians live in. It's just unacceptable in a 27-year-old democracy, in a country with less than 2.5 million inhabitants. A country with vast natural resources that are not being ploughed back into developing its inhabitants. An obviously frustrated Paul posted, "Let's not make unnecessary excuses and tell our poor people that there's no land available, but let us just be straightforward and say there's no land for you poor people, but there's only land for those with money, those that can buy plots to build their flats. In other words, with the little you get per month, you will be forced to rent because there's no land for those that can't afford houses, but only for those busy enriching themselves. If there's no land, are those Selma, David, Tura, and those thousands of them being constructed in the sky?" We asked social activist and RDP member Monica Nambelela to spill some tea on this.
The contributing factor is greed, because if you think of where this greed started, when Martin Shipanga became the CEO of Windhoek, he retired from his position at a very early age and went to Nedbank, and at Nedbank he also didn't last. At 41 he had the advantage because he knew every allocated land the way he knows the palm of his hands. That's why today Rocky Crest predominantly belongs to Martin Shipanga with his Bella Rosa, Bella Tiziana, and then a developer called Maton. And the third person would be the Nuyoma family. They've also invested in land. Just about who is who in Namibia has land. We need to find a systematic way where the moment somebody wants a house for the third time around, where you are blacklisted.
We then spoke to the city of Windhoek.
There's no other town in Namibia that there's so many people at once like the city of Windhoek. You have so many people at once that need these services. That's why it's so evident, it's easy to see that there is a problem here because people are not getting the land at the same pace at which they are coming into the city. Of course, it will take time, but you have seen from the central government and also from the local authority where the city of Windhoek as a municipality falls under, there are a lot of initiatives that are being undertaken to address the issue of land. But of course, people feel the response is not coming at the rate that which we want. Of course, it will take some time, but there are initiatives that have been initiated by both the central government and also by the local authority to be able to address the issue of land.
Rental prices in this country are skyrocketing, so much so that movements like the affirmative repositioning movement have mobilized the youth to voice their concerns. But even Job and them are quiet on the land issue, whilst his having acquired land in a number of towns has been reported. Where are the plots, Job? Some Windhoek residents got tired of waiting. The homie Joseph produced this clip.
I approached the municipality in 2004 and told them that I needed a piece of land. They told me to apply and await their call. Until this day, I am still waiting. That is why when I see people grabbing land, I join in the hopes of getting a piece of land where I can build a house for my family.
They don't care about us because they have houses. That's why they are taking so long to answer us back. Now we want some answers from them. Otherwise we will build and they will come and kill us here.
Housing is a basic human need. And looking at the cribs our liberators live in and their claims of having fought for a decent living standard for the citizens of this country, one can only wonder how much they're still committed to the cause. I mean, there are more than 5 billion square meters of land in Windhoek alone. And those in desperate need of land have put up temporary shacks to mark their erven, and yet they also have to enjoy the wrath of nature without basic services like water and electricity. The homie Isai produced this clip.
73-year-old Otile Quiras and her 20 family members were left homeless after a fire obliterated 3 of their shacks in Windhoek's Okahanja Park last night.
I was sleeping when the fire started. I tried to put it out, but there was too much smoke, so I decided to save the children. My ID and other documents were destroyed in the fire. We lost most of our money. We have nothing.
Some residents have taken to invading unoccupied government houses. And those in desperate need of land have put up temporary shacks to mark their erven, and yet they also have to enjoy the wrath of nature without basic services like water and electricity. The homie Isai produced this clip.
We have complained to the councillor countless times that our area doesn't have electricity, but nothing has been done. Other informal settlements have electricity. It's just Okahanja Park that is still behind. We are sitting here today with nothing.
A documentary called Skulls of My People about the Namibian genocide was shot and broadcasted by Al Jazeera recently and really brought home the reality of what the Nama and Herero endured under German rule.
You killed our people! You massacred them! You hanged them! You hanged them! You hanged them!
We asked the German ambassador, Christian Schlager, for an update on negotiations with his government.
We still aim at finding a common wording for the historic events of the years 1904 to 1907, for which Germany is ready to explain and declare an apology. But we need to talk about the details, which will be done during those talks. And then as a final step, we will also talk about what the German special envoy always calls measures to heal the wounds, which, according to his own statements, also often made in public, could, but not necessarily must, but could cover a fund for reconciliation projects, as well as specific support measures from Germany to facilitate and to improve the life of the specifically and particularly affected communities in the various areas.
As a direct descendant of the Overherero, politician Kadenambo is passionate about this issue, and we asked him about his view on how government has handled it.
The Namibian government and the German government want to relegate the Overherero and Nama genocide to bilateral relationship, to a relationship based on state actors. It's wrong. Under the United Nations Convention, it doesn't read that the genocide of Namibia. It is clearly stipulated that it's Overherero Nama genocide. The Namibian government is distorting that history, is coming up with a different issue of Namibian genocide. It's not a Namibian genocide, it's a lie. If you deny it and play it down, how do you expect me to move together with you in a reconciled manner? How do I become part of the so-called Namibian house?
Kadenambo feels that government stance will incite disunity amongst the country's citizens.
It's about time that we pass a law in this country where people will not deny about the genocide, the Overherero and Nama genocide, where people will not deny about the Kasinga massacre, where people will not deny about the Oshikuku massacre, where people will not deny about Kufut running over Omahango fields. Because this thing, it's part of us, it's part of our being. It's our history, it's where we come from.
Let's see what's irking Dudley this week. Meanwhile, the official opposition in neighbouring South Africa has managed to come to an amicable solution following Helen Zille, Premier of the Western Cape's tweets on colonialism. I don't know what kind of tick Madame Zille was puffing on when she tweeted, "For those claiming the legacy of colonialism was only negative, think of our independent judiciary, transport infrastructure, piped water, etc." Which she followed with, "Would you have had a transition into specialized healthcare and medication without colonial influence? Just be honest, please." And following the barrage of protests she received then, she still had the audacity to post, "Getting onto an airplane now and won't get onto the Wi-Fi so that I can cut off those who think every aspect of the colonial legacy was bad." Shem, the party wasn't having any of that and they called Madame Zille to order. Check this out. Democracy in action.
She offered a very full and unreserved apology for the offence that her tweets about colonialism had caused, and to the party itself for the damage that she had caused the party. She stood down from all positions within the party, but will continue to serve out her term as the Premier of the Western Cape. The next election is due in the beginning half of 2019, so basically she's got just under 2 years to serve, and she is ineligible to be re-elected for a third term, and so that would be the end, presumably, of her political career.
Social media has been abuzz with reports of some Chinese nationals plundering forests in the Zambezi region, inciting even more xenophobic statements against Asians in our country. Just look. Dennis posted, "Very big shame for our government. The way they protect the Chinese makes the nation wonder." Whilst Evans wrote, "SWAPO so-called government. Look at that. While you find the Vambus when they load firewood at roadblocks. Pendukeni Ivula Itana, look at your Chinese workers. You renew passports for these people. SWAPO, stop selling up the country like selling fat cakes and calling Black Label." Jerubai posted, "Corrupt Chinese exploit our natural resources and they are connected to political elites. It's why those in power are turning a blind eye on them, and everywhere you are just hearing about them in criminal activities, for example poaching, bypassing labor laws, illegal mining, and the list goes on." Woo, Shem. Investigative journalist John Grobler also investigated this and spilled some tea.
In Zambia, for example, they're paying like $10 a tree, and they collect anything up to $44,000 per tree that they then deliver on the other side. I mean, of course, there's a lot of cost involved in between, but still, you know, the profit margins are such that it's massive. And it's that profit margin that's basically driving the whole speculation, because it started off slowly. We started seeing timber coming out of Angola, Kwandu-Kabangu province, and then suddenly there was a massive stream of wood coming out of Zambia. Zambia had in fact banned the cutting down of Mukula, but what's happened then is that they started chopping down the trees and then taking the raw logs into the DRC, where they would then cut it square so as to, you know, fit into a container. Then they pack the containers with that, then they seal the containers that side. And then they bring it out and say, "Oh, no, we're not allowed to open this because it's sealed already." So, you know, they thought they would get around that. How the DRC can allow for the cutting down of Mukula or rosewood bloodwood is just beyond me, because they are taking millions of dollars per year from the UN to combat deforestation. We have illegal logging going on in Namibia, in Katima Farm, all in the guise of debushing for a tobacco farm, you know, that the Minister of Land Reform somehow has made his business. Why the Minister of Land Reform is involved in a purely agricultural project, I don't understand it. What is Matowa there for? What exactly is the Land Reform Minister's function? But there are allegations that I intend to investigate now to get closer to the truth. But there appears to be a beneficial financial link between the parties involved. And that's what I need to get to the bottom of now.
We also spoke to the governor of the Zambezi region.
The Chinese company entered into agreement with the local communities there that the community should benefit from such timber. They signed an agreement, that's Leselo Kuta and the Mafwe Traditional Authority at Chinchimani. It is official deal between the Chinese and the Mafwe Traditional Authority to see to it that the Chinese they plow back into the community by energizing the whole village of Leselo.
NAM writers Phil Yanangolo also shared his sentiments on this story.
The traditional leaders there, they are not the one who decide what should be done in order to better and how to better the lives of people there. It's the functions of government, not individual traditional leaders out there. It's news to me that now the Caprivi is now in the hands of traditional leaders. I doubt it. So it's clearly, we believe what the governor has said, with all due respect, he's trying to cover up what is going on there, which is an illegal operation, illegal extraction of resources belonging to the Caprivi people.
And back at home, Minister of Finance Kalesh Letwine celebrated the fact that Namibia's economy has been regraded by Poor and Fitch. We asked economist Ngoni Popoto to explain just what this means exactly.
The affirmation by Fitch Ratings of Namibia's investment grade credit rating BBB- is very positive for the economy. I think that it portrays confidence in the Namibian government's efforts in terms of fiscal consolidation. And it also really highlights or underpins the fact that Namibia is a sovereign. As we know, South Africa has been downgraded by two of the major ratings agencies to junk status, and our main concern was that this might contaminate us as well.
Check out these funky events you can attend over the next week. In this week's The Shift, I tried my hand at sales in a retail outlet. Check this out.
Erika, you are welcome to Queen's Park. This is a retail that we deal with men's and ladies staffs. So it's a lot of combination of staffs here. So I will just show you the basic of how we do it. So let's approach the table. Then I'll show you how we do the flat pack and all those stuffs. Actually, we don't have much tables. We only have 2 tables. So this is the flat pack that we do for men's. We do a flat pack. This is a jersey. You lay it on the table. A flat pack, you don't have to fold it so short. You just do it this way, simply. You just do it. It's very simple. Pull it this way. Just a symbol. Then you don't fold it this way. You just pull it the other side. Then you let it be as it is.
Do you put them from the biggest to the smallest on top?
You can put it from the biggest to the normally we put it from the biggest to the smallest one. And there are other stuff that you have to do that I'll show you how we hang our clothes in the store.
Okay, let me try some folding first.
Okay, you can just do the folding if you can maybe manage to do it.
Okay,
Ready lay, that's great. That's our flat pack that we used to form. I will show you again on how we hang our stuff.
Okay.
Normally we use our right hand. So we have to display here so that it's easy to remove out of there. Now, this is how we display, or if you want to put your outfit in this way, it's very easy, but this is not only outfit that you have to use. You can add an additional stuff that
So
you can
do you
use.
create the looks? Like you take a jersey, you take a shirt. you put them together,
Yes, I can
and you
create
say
the
this
look.
is going
Yes,
to be-
this is how we can make it.
No.
But this is only the top. This is not the
Yeah,
bottom.
and then you can choose if you want
Yes.
top or jersey.
Yeah, all our hanging is the same. As you see here, you have to do it here, and the hanger have to be kept clean all the times, just to attract the customers.
So somebody has to sit and wipe the hangers every day.
Always. If they are not clean, you have to do it. That's our daily duty. I'll show you a bit of ladies department. Actually, we don't have much of trousers, and we only have much of tops items.
Okay.
So this is our QP Plus department. Okay, that side is our ethnic. This, if you can see, these are our mannequins for ethnic, how we dress them up. Okay, do you want me to show you how we fold lady stuffs? Because it's different from men's stuff, it's not the same. Yeah, that's how perfect. Think you are copying?
That's shabby.
On this tent, these are our new stock because we have to display them here so that they must see. We don't have to hide them somewhere far. Okay? You can have this behind the trouser. You don't have to put jacket with jacket, jacket with jacket. No. We open Saturday, we normally open 9 to 1. Sunday 9 to 1. Monday to Friday 9 to 5. That's our trading hour.
It's quite long hours. And you're open the whole year round.
We have to be paid according to how customers are popping in and buy.
So the sales determine the future.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
So, it seems like a very complicated business. It's not very easy. And
It's
I
not
suppose
easy.
you need people skills as well to be able to deal with people and make them buy.
But it's easy if you just focus and concentrate. It's very easy. You know, it's not easy when you just come and stand around. Just waiting for fun, when I'm going to be paid. So how are they going to pay it if you don't do something? Customer service is very important.
Thank you very much for the day, Kongoro. I learned a bit about the retail industry.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
See you next time. Ciao, ciao. Revolution! Stay woke, Namibia. Subscribe to our YouTube or our Facebook page and stay in the loop with my opinion or share yours. Thank you for watching. It's a wrap.